time to do another one of these. I'm just going to change the settings on the PC end, because it's pretty hard to actually do it on the phone. Then I'll post to Twitter that I'm on, because I'm trying to do that now so people know I'm about. And I'll do the pop-out chat thing as well. So let's get that hood to look a little less silly. So right, hopefully people will see that I'm on in a minute. So I'm just going to post this to Twitter as well. So copy video URL, go to Twitter, and then... All right, North. So yeah, I'll let people... Again, with this mask, it's pretty hard to see because of the double layered sort of lenses. So there we go. Right, it's on my Twitter. So as I've said to people before, it's the Czechoslovakian M10, but East Germany also used these on export, and they did a chemical hood which had Stricton on it. So it's the East German hood basically on the mask. So yeah, the point of this stream again was to actually give some testing and see if any of these work. So we've got our horrible smelly ammonia. Oh, that's going straight through. So yeah, this cheek filter mask would give you almost no protection from ammonia. What virus? Sorry to hear that. Was that flu or what? That weirdly, this filter works fairly well. But this filter, I can smell quite a bit of the ammonia going straight through. Although I'm not sure if maybe it's coming through the chin area of the mask. Ugh. Oh yeah, I can hear a bit of air seeping in, but... Yeah, so with this mask, just because it's too difficult to keep adjusting the straps with a chemical hood on it, yeah, I can smell the ammonia a lot more now. The filters were working to an extent on there, although I imagine cheek filters will get saturated with ammonia very, very quickly. But the problem was, as you might be able to imagine, that, yeah, like the chin seal wasn't completely perfect. And with a chemical hood, you can't easily adjust your straps and everything because they're trapped under the hood. You have to fold the hood back, adjust your straps, and then, yeah, do it that way. So I'm actually surprised at how well those cheek filters actually worked. But, yeah, so that's that. People asked me, could I do a check mask? I wanted to do the CM3 or the CM4, but I think I've put those into such deep storage now, I can't easily get them out. And like I said, until all of our, like, renovations are done, you know, I can't just get that stuff at the moment because it's, you know, too far away. But what I did also get out for today's stream was two other masks. One to see just how quickly ammonia goes through a particle filter. But I did, because I could find my, I think this is the Polish MC1 in here, which is basically the same mask as the CM3. So what I did is I thought I'll at least be able to that way. All right, cheers, Davey. Oh, the chat is already bloody broken on here. And so I'm going to have to look at every message on the screen because, yeah, great. So within 4 messages, the live chat has broken on the bloody mobile thing. So again, where YouTube tries to get you to do all these vertical things, it barely works. Yeah, weather's been very bad near me, lots of high wind, not as bad as it was in Wales and the West, but, you know, bad enough here that trees are still come down and stuff like that. So anyway, let's test this with its old Polish filter. So my prediction with this is that the ammonia won't take long to start seeping through, because this is an old filter and I doubt it was ever rated for ammonia. But we will find out, because that's what I'm doing on this stream. So, that's cool, Captain Military. You're obviously, I wouldn't recommend wearing that. Well, technically, the Mickey Mouse, you can take the filter off of it. Summer German, I'm testing various gas masks with ammonia gas, basically, from smelling salts. And you definitely know pretty quickly if you've got a flaw in your mask. Obviously, modern masks work completely fine, so it's a bit boring. But I thought check out some circular, see how that does. Right, let's see if I can get this sort of centralised, because at the moment this is a bit weirdly, might just be because it's been squashed for so long. I think that strap is totally, yeah, what I'm going to need to do is first get both these bottom straps even, because one of the bottom straps is tight, one of them is very loose. So let's fully loosen all the straps, or loosen them to a fair degree so I can at least pull on them. Yeah, there we go. Because the problem is that bottom strap is it's got to the stage where it's almost looped back through. So I want to tighten all the straps ever so slightly, but not to the stage where they're actually it's going to mean I can't put the mask on. One of the straps doesn't actually want to move, which is great. So I'm going to have to, probably just got caught because it's been in there so long. So let's pull that one. There we go. It's moving now. About just a bit more than 3/4 loose. Top two straps. That one's moving all right. There we go. Right, again, because this is the Polish MC1, this isn't like I said, as comfortable as a Czech CM3, but I can't find where my Czech CM3 is. So I think I've actually got more than one CM3, but like I said, everything, because it's in deep storage at the moment, isn't easy to get out. So get that into my chin as much as I can. Get these straps and get them partially done up. Now these two. That's better. Now we'll get that little chin one tightened up. And with luck, yeah, that's definitely as airtight as I'm going to get it. Right, let's see if this does anything. Can't smell any ammonia at all coming through this filter, which surprises me. But again, it probably protects you from low levels of ammonia like most of these do to a degree. I can feel that burning the skin under my chin with the ammonia, but it's not getting through the mask. So, wow, that surprised me. Even doing that, look. That's not getting any ammonia through. So that surprised me. No, don't have any World War I gas masks at all. I've got one replica World War I mask and that's it. But yeah, so that's surprising actually. I was not expecting this mask to do as well. Cheers, Bush's Baked Baby. That's just the old British Army ones. I need to get another one of these actually, because the zip's still fine on this one, but the elastic pull cords are starting to go. So now it's getting colder. I'm noticing that, you know, when you can't tighten a fleece up, it lets a lot of cold air in. Okay, so that has surprised me. Pleasantly surprised me that a Polish MC1 worked as well as that. Especially because, again, it seems like these old Polish filters aren't actually too bad. Again, wouldn't recommend breathing through them for most people because, you know, they may or may not have asbestos in. They do at least have a little particle layer look at the top that looks fairly competent. So in theory, if there was asbestos in this, it would have to first get through the particle filter it's in, then through the charcoal layer, then back out like the retaining layer sort of thing. I have an M17, sadly, but I don't have one nearby to test. I did test earlier, as it was in the thumbnail, and the filters themselves held up, the cheek filters. The Czech M10, which is an M17 ripoff, it's got the East German chemical hood on it, and the only problem with having the chemical hood on is it means it's harder to adjust the straps. But yeah, the cheek filters surprisingly worked on this. But the problem was it wasn't completely tight to my chin, and when you've got a chemical hood like this on, you can't easily adjust the strap, so the ammonia was seeping through the hood and then through the sort of bottom bit of the mask. But yeah, because that's one of the other good things of the smelling salts, is you can very quickly work out as well if there's a breach in your mask somewhere. Again, in theory, if I was doing one of these tests really seriously, I'd need to shave each time before doing the video, because otherwise, you know, like I said, a bit of stubble can also break the seal on some of the masks. I've got a Japanese World War II mask, Joshua, but mine is in absolutely awful condition. Yeah, smelling the salts, Rajiv. Yeah, exactly. Right, what I'm going to recommend to everybody who's watching this, because YouTube, yes, doesn't share my stuff properly, what I'm trying to do now and be consistent with it is on Twitter. I am now doing a thing where I'm going to link my Twitter here if anybody wants to subscribe to it, or whatever the word is for your Twitter. Subscribing, I know they call it X now, but Twitter. So what I'm trying to do now is get into the habit of every time I do a... so this is my Twitter. Cool. Any particularly interesting masks in there, Resu? But what I'm trying to do now with my Twitter is to specifically, when I upload a video, put it on Twitter. So if you follow me on Twitter, you'll know I've uploaded something, because I can't rely on YouTube actually letting people know that are subscribed to me. I've got German gas masks. Right, so on the wall over there, but it's hanging up, so it'll be a bit difficult to get down, but I might be able to, hang on, show it you if I lift this up and take it over, because at least when I'm doing a stream on my phone. So on the wall over there, and I'm going to try and do this in a way that YouTube doesn't see any of the guns and get funny about that. There's a gun bag, so I doubt that will trigger YouTube. There's a German World War II GM, is it 38 it's called? I'm trying to remember. I think that's a GM 38. That one's made by BMW, weirdly enough, as in the car company. So there's a GM 38. That's, again, not in great condition, so it's not going to work. Up there is a German, is it Z56? Like the Zivilschutz, whatever it's like, civil defense mask, Z56. But yeah, I don't have loads of gas masks in this room to actually test with. I've got a couple more up there, but most of the gas masks at the moment are stored in cupboards and things. Oh, I have got, is this a gas mask in here, in this Chinese Digiflora bag? Or is this something else? Let's see if it's a gas mask in here. I can't remember what's actually in here. It could be that this isn't a gas mask at all in here. It could be something else, but we will find out, I guess, in a second. Right, so let me sit back down. But yeah, I've got a West German M65 somewhere as well, and a couple of other German masks. But again, it's knowing where they are. Right, let me do pop-out chat again, because again, YouTube is broken. No, I was literally asked a bit about that before you came on. Do I have any World War I gas masks? No, I don't, because I wouldn't look after them properly and they get damaged. I have a replica that's like a cheapo replica, not even a like particularly accurate one. PH gas hood. Yes, this is a Chinese mask in here. Which one is it? It is... I'm trying to think what this one's bloody called. It's one of the more modern ones. It's the one I think replaced the FMJ08. It's still got that same Chinese like valve assembly in there. Oh, you can actually tell this is a PLA style one though, because it's got the particle filter in the front. Look, you can see it there. Whereas the other Chinese filters that look like this that aren't the PLA ones don't have the particle filters in the front. So 2020-09 is the date of the thing. I noticed there's one Hype sent me, or I think I bought through Hype, but I can't actually remember the exact thing. But as it's in this bag, it's probably actually, like we're saying, Chinese Army, rather than Chinese civilian industry, because it's in the Chinese Digiflora bag. Was this just the FMJ09 or whatever? L is for large, I think, still. Do you mean the Romanian M74? The Romanian ones are actually nicer than the German ones, I'd say. Yeah, the Hungarian ones, yeah, do look like that, because I think they're based on it, basically. Right. Anyway. So I haven't used this in ages. Again, I kind of forget which masks I have at times, so let's get this on properly. I think that's airtight, so let's find out. Yeah. No ammonia coming through there. Oh, there's a bit of a leak at the bottom right, so let's see again. It could be that I need to have a shave, but let's just see if oh, I can tighten that up a bit more actually. Both of those. I think that solved it now. So yeah, if this is the FMJ09 or whatever, well, when you say GP5XL, do you mean the bit underneath that bit, the replacement valves? If you mean open those valves, yeah, you're gonna, Monica, need to try and find a repair kit for them. I've got one somewhere, but they're not very common. I think it's actually the box down there I've got. But because I've got like a Warsaw Pact repair box thing that's just literally full of like dozens of each of the gas mask parts, but they're not very common. I was just lucky enough to get one. I think it was on eBay quite a while ago, where like a seller obviously had the like field technician boxes, but for the most part they just did the valves in the factory and then issued a new mask if they broke because of how many they made. I'll have a quick look for you on eBay just to see if they actually, you know, because they are useful things. What I used mine a lot for is because you can get the like blanking plug type things for it. Well, they're not quite blanking plugs, they're the ends of the hoses. I got one of the like male to whatever end hose things it was, filled it with silicone adhesive, and then made my own blanking plug that way, so I could use it with Ghost masks if they had multiple filter ports. Depends on how well made the gas mask is, Steve. If it's got a good head harness, the mask isn't too lightweight and the filter's not too bad, they're not too bad at all. If it's one with a really heavy filter and you've not got the filter on the hose, you've got it directly on the mask, then they can do. That's probably just if you're exhaling quite fast. It can vibrate for that reason if you're exhaling fast. With some masks, it's if you exhale fast and they've got a voice diaphragm, it makes the voice diaphragm vibrate. Generally, though, if it's airtight, it just means it's a, you know, like just an annoying thing, because sometimes it's like a reverberating noise. If you're on about what I think you're on about. Anyway, let me have a look for Monica while I think about it. Pop my glasses back on so I can see the screen properly. If we can find, but yeah, I'm surprised how good these old Polish filters actually are. That surprised me. The fact that I couldn't smell any ammonia through that filter whatsoever. Right, let's go on to eBay and see if they actually exist in decent numbers. So what I want to look for is what would you call it? Gas mask repair kit, I guess. Because again, sometimes you see the S10 ones, but they're very expensive. Valve box for gas. Okay, you can buy replacement entire valve assemblies for GP5s, but that's all I can see at the moment. So what I mean by that, if I link one, free postage from Ukraine, so if it gets you the war on, is this. Oh, link's too long. Hang on, let me try and shorten the link. I hate eBay links because they're like AliExpress links where they're just stupidly long. Right, whereabouts can I cut the link to and still have it work? I think it's after the question mark, isn't it? Right, see if this works for you. You can't use them, sadly, with modern NATO filters because they're the wrong thread. GP5s are GOST threaded. NATO masks are STANAG threaded. Russia and Poland, I don't know if Poland still did it, but up until recently, Poland still made GOST filters for like their legacy masks. Russia still makes GOST filters. China still makes GOST filters. So it is possible to get new GOST filters. It's just the prices aren't good. You know, ideally you want a NATO country's mask because it's much easier to get the filters. But yeah, so what that person's selling there is this bit of the mask, essentially, with its valves in it. So the intake screw, the exhale valve, and the bit where it connects to the mask there, where you crimp it onto the mask. So basically, they're just selling, it looks like this seller's selling that bottom entire assembly of the mask, like this bit. So I've got a reproduction West German one from like the 50s, the one in the swamp tarn or whatever it was called. Yeah, Romanian M74s and Romanian M85s weirdly are NATO threaded because they're like licensed NATO masks. So yes, despite it being communist Romania, those masks are NATO threaded. It's a bit like how Yugoslavia had M61 not M61s, they're technically M9 copies. The Yugo M1 or the Yugo M50, whatever it was called, is, I think it's M59, wasn't it they called them? M59 or M1s, Yugo M1s, a 60mm NATO, despite the fact it was communist Yugoslavia that made them, because they had a production license for them, or they just copied them, I can't remember which. But, yeah, that's another bizarre thing with, yeah, some of like the old countries like Yugoslavia and some of the others, is they actually, you know, just sometimes didn't use their own kind of, because again, I know Yugoslavia wasn't even part of the Warsaw Pact. It was like an independent communist sort of thing of nations. But because I know Tito didn't trust both sides. But yeah, again, it's just one of those funny things that their masks were NATO threaded as well, despite the fact that they used a lot of communist caliber ammunition. They had NATO caliber filters, if you like. It was let's just again try this because again this is GOST threaded, goes in really easily. This Polish filter on here. I know I did this in the previous thing. Yep, working perfectly on the GP5. Again, I can feel the sting actually as soon as I take the mask off because the vapor is still in the air a bit. But yeah, it does surprise me, some of these, that, you know, that the, because again, like I said, breathing through GOST filters isn't a great idea. But at least the Polish ones are built better than the Russian ones in terms of standard build of the filter. Oh, now here's a good question. Is that mask I've just got there NATO threaded or GOST threaded? Let's have a look. Again, it might be quite hard from just looking like this. Turn the light more this way. There we go. Cast a different shadow now. It's hard to actually tell looking at that, but there's an easy way of finding out. That's what that one looks like on the inside. So it's actually got a particle layer in here because this is actually a proper PLA military filter. Let's see if this screws on properly onto one of these. If it faces resistance, then it's obviously a NATO threaded filter. But no, I think that's GOST. I think this is because it's a Chinese military one. I think it's technically GOST, not NATO. Easy way to find out if it's GOST threaded. Oh, it's seeping in there. No, that's not a proper GOST thread then. It seems to go on pretty well, but that's not a GOST thread because I could smell the stuff through the thing there. Whereas if I do this one again, 10 minutes, let's hit plus.
That's good, isn't it? Yeah, with that, and I do the same thing. No smell, yeah. So that is, within fact, a NATO threaded Chinese filter. Somebody saying, give me a free thing that costs hundreds of pounds. No, fuck off and stop begging on YouTube. Goodbye. Right, Josh just changed his comments. I don't know what he's going to say, yeah. So, yeah.
Interestingly, unless it's where, no, because I think China, when they use GOST, still uses old GOST. I don't think they went to the different GOST just to confuse things. So yeah. So yeah, this is actually a NATO threaded one. This mask kind of reminds me a bit of the Forshida, actually. What looked like a bondage mask, the GP5. I suppose it is Soviet. Oop, my ear's stinging there. So when I was doing that and the vapor wasn't getting into the mask, the vapor was strong enough coming off of this to start my ear stinging now. Let's see if it does that again. Yeah, it's causing my ear to sting again. That's quite interesting. So because of how volatile smelling salts are like to your skin and that, obviously the ears, and I don't know if it's probably because I've got like little small cuts, I imagine, behind my ear there, or like a scab. The ammonia starts getting into that and starts causing my ears to burn. So yeah, the mask was working longer than my actual physical ears were. So yeah, well, that's kind of interesting. So unfortunately, I probably don't have many more masks in this room that we haven't done videos on before to test out. Because like I said, the problem is so many of my masks just in storage. I was going to just show you how it doesn't do anything with a particle filter though. So if I get now my, I'm just going to put this mask back away so I don't lose it because I've got the nice bag for it and everything. Does it fit in there with the filter on it, or do I need to take the filter off to fit the mask into its bag? Ideally, yeah, there we go. The mask fits, most good masks fit in to the satchel with the filter attached. So if you need to quickly, you know, open it up and put the mask on, you don't have to open up the filter. So yeah, that Chinese one's cool. Like I said, modern Chinese stuff is generally pretty damn good. Trying to think, yeah, like I said, I did get this mask out earlier, specifically because I know this will probably do nothing against ammonia because it's only got a particle filter on it. So I just want to give this a test. So Chinese copy of a 3M. Oh, cool, Visa. Good to see you. So yeah, because this is a Chinese copy of a 3M mask, this isn't a bad quality actual little respirator. But the issue is I've not got chemical filters on it. So I imagine what's going to happen is as soon as I get the that's the one. So you can see it's basically pressurizing, all right? Let's just pull it. Yeah, so the mask's pressurizing, but I bet this is going to instantly choke me. Oh, yeah, ow, it's in my eyes, ow. Yes, as you'd expect, particle filters do nothing against ammonia vapors, which is what we'd expect. But again, I'm still surprised how good this old Polish filter works against that. I know, because the thing is, it's not going to be an airtight thing, and doing it with my mouth is kind of pointless because you wouldn't be able to smell the ammonia. But I just do want to have a quick test. If I open up that ammonia, do this. That actually kind of works. Although the vapor's now hitting me in the eye again. But yeah, oh, and it's now burning under my thumbnail opening that. Oh yeah, those felling salts are pretty vicious. The Pro Mask. I don't think I have tested the Pro Mask, but I can go get it. let me go get it. I know where that mask is. I'm pretty certain I know where that mask is, so I can test the Pro mask. I know it's going to work, but so that's a Scott Pro mask, isn't it? The one that's basically also the one in the finish art. No, the Pro mask's the panoramic one, isn't it? I think I know where it is. So give me a minute, and if it's where I think it is, I can test it. If I've tidied it up with a load of my other shit. What helmet do you have? My favourite helmet is British Army Virtus helmet, the modern one. But there's a Riot helmet in the background there. There's a British Army Mark 7 in the background there. Again, like I said, at the moment, because I'm moving a load of stuff around because we're having some renovation work done to the house and bits, like one room has to be completely cleared of everything. I've not tried with the proper M17 like I was showing at the start of the stream. I tried it and it worked with the Czech copy ripoff of an M17. So because FMJ08 is the Chinese S10 copy at the Ripovsky, and that's absolutely fine. Wouldn't say it's really as good as an actual S10, but it's a good mask. In theory, Violet, if it wasn't anything that would affect you through your skin, it would work. Yeah, I've got the mandible guard weirdly sitting there, look. Oh, you can't quite see it with the camera angle. But yeah, the mandible guard's there. Because I've currently, if I remember right, wherever I've got my Virtus helmet stored, I've currently still got the goggles bit on it, but not the mandibles. Right. I am going to go and see for Visa if I can find where that Pro mask is. I'm hoping I can. So I will be back in a minute, and hopefully I'll have the masks you're interested in. Ugh, right. Yes, I found them. So, Sturmströmming is that horrible Swedish rotten fish. But okay, so here we have, it's quite dusty. That's the other Scott mask, isn't it? The, whatever they called this one. It's in Finnish Army service, and this is the one about the drinking tube, so it's not technically the one that's in military service. This one's the, like, kind of civilian and police version. So I've got that one, but the one you're on about is the Pro Master panoramic one, isn't it? So, I'm also interested in testing this Chinese filter because it's not rated against ammonia. So let's pop that down there, but yes. And it should be less dusty, this one, because it's been in its box. Yes, good, because it's been in a box. So, yeah, let's chuck a filter on this one. A filter that we have tested already and we know that works, like a good filter then. So let's put this Avon C50's filter on it. If it fits, because again, this has got the funny shape to it, the C50 filter. If not, I'll have to find another filter. Oh, this might not actually screw on because of the shape of the mask. Yeah, won't actually go on that because the shape of it means it will hit that. I'll need the regular filters. Okay, I will have a regular 40mm ammonia rated filter behind me somewhere. If not, I'll grab that one from the other Chinese mask. But I should have something in here that will work. Tell you what, I know it's the wrong thread, but I think it will still seal the Polish Ghost one. But again, I should have more filters than that in here. But again, they've probably just been buried, haven't they? Under have I got one? No, I've not got one on my CP12 at the moment. FM12. Yeah, whatever. I will use instead then. I think there's a PMG buried down there as well. Oh no, it's just the bottom of a filter, isn't it? Oh, yeah, that was out of that weird US mask, isn't it? Filter. Right, yeah, let me, because I know it works, get out that Chinese one again. And when did I put that Chinese back? Because there it is. So yeah, to test this, it came with a Scott one that was sealed. But yeah, I've got that in the other room because it's still sealed and I've got lots of open filters. That's in my pile of sealed filters of various dates kind of thing. Where normally what I do is, if a filter's sealed and it still looks properly sealed, that goes in my, I'm going to use that later pile sort of thing. And because I've got enough actual filters. Right, so now we've established this one's probably NATO threaded and it actually seems to block the ammonia. And again, like I said, the part of the problem at the moment is because we're tidying the house up because of having to have some repair work done. That's got a bit squished at the top there, actually. Right. Stuff isn't where it would normally be for me to glue it. Weirdly, the inside of this mask, the smell kind of reminds me of TCP. I don't know why. Right, that pressurizes very easily. Where my hair is seems to be breaking the seal slightly, but that's because I probably need a haircut. Do need a haircut, but I don't want to do it while it's cold outside. Right, try it again. It did seem pretty good seal then. I think, yeah, my hair is breaking the seal about there, so the mask should work fine, but I don't think it's a problem with the mask. I think my hair's breaking the seal on this one. I'm just going to try and readjust. What is it, Monica? You can just ask a question if you've got one, but I think let's just tighten those a lot more. Then it's pressurizing, fine. It's only a very, very faint whiff anyway. And again, I'm getting my skin burned before I even get the smell of it. It was probably originally more clear. Yeah, they are very good voice diaphragms, aren't they, on this type of mask? But yeah, I think, like with the Scott versions of the MCU2P, I think it's a similar thing to that they originally sort of, you know, were probably a clearer colour and then they've discoloured over time. But yeah, so this seems to work fine, but like I said, I think it's a case of that my hair on that side of the mask is just slightly about there, breaking the seal. Like, you know, the reason you're not meant to have a beard with a gas mask. So again, it's the thing of like why if you have a shaved head, they work a lot better. All right, Hype. Weirdly, we have just been testing one of the old Chinese masks. When I say old, I mean relatively new. Have I chucked it right behind me again? Where did I just put that Chinese mask I was using earlier in the video? Oh, it's there. Yeah, it was just the FMJ09. I'm trying to remember what number this was. But yeah, interestingly, like you were saying about the filters before, yeah, I can now see that on this one, that this one's got the actual particle layer there. And it's actually better against ammonia as well, this filter, because where I've tested the ammonia using this one and using the MF14, the civil filter of the MF14, although it initially stopped me smelling the ammonia, within a couple of minutes of, you know, having it near ammonia, the ammonia smell started saturating the filter. So yeah, this one works absolutely fine. the old Polish filter, like we said, weirdly works fine. A GB5 filter works surprisingly well for what it is, even though I don't really want to breathe through those. But yeah, so like, as you'd expect, though, most modern masks do work well. But yeah, what I did want to test, and again, I'm not sure if this is a Ghost threaded Chinese filter or a TF1 ZA P32. Can't remember if this is a Ghost threaded one or a NATO threaded one. Again, screws in very easily, so you'd think it might be Ghost threaded, but one of the others wasn't, was it, when I tested it earlier? Again, this isn't rated against ammonia, because as far as I can tell, this is basically, yeah, P3. I'm guessing this is organic vapor and particulate, protection. So we'll see it.
We'll see, but if this is like the previous one, yeah, no ammonia coming through there. So you're correct, this one is DOS. But how long will it protect you against ammonia? Seeing as this isn't an ammonia-rated filter, yeah, ATP3. Because if it works like a lot of the other filters, the organic vapor bit will actually stop the ammonia for a while. It just doesn't hold up against the ammonia like the proper ammonia-rated filter does. Ah, surprisingly works out, yeah.
That's because there's no voice diaphragm on a GP5. But yeah, that filter is holding up surprisingly well, actually. Again, I can smell more ammonia in the air now I've taken it off. You should be able to get replacement straps for FM and CT12s on eBay. I don't see why not. Again, straps for those sort of masks are more commonly resold, because sometimes surplus sellers might get masks in when a mask is screwed, but the strap's completely salvageable or vice versa. But like we were saying, with this one, if I do this and then not quite. There we go. Yeah. Yeah. That filter works surprisingly well, actually. But yeah, like I said, if it ends up like some of the other filters I've tested, if they're not the ammonia rated ones, it seems lower concentration of ammonia from smelling salts. It basically completely stops them to start with. And then after not very long of use, obviously, I guess the ammonia just completely saturates the filter that's not got anything designed to get rid of the ammonia. So obviously, should we test one of my favorite style masks? I'm sure I've done this before. Let's just test the FM12, shall we? So we'll chuck that other Chinese filter on there, the PLA one. Again, that should screw on completely fine, because even if it was a Ghost threaded filter, they seem to work one way but not the other on these sort of masks. So should have adjusted the straps before doing that, but whatever. Right, that should be sealed. Oh, that's very interesting. So they're actually the same filters with a different, just different color labels on them because of laws. That's kind of interesting. Oh, that is breaching that. But I don't know if it's the filter not being quite threaded on right. So let's remove this filter a second. Because again, if it's the Ghost one, not a thing. Let's see if the this one fits on there. Because again, this might just be an indication I need a shave if my chin is Also, those straps, that strap definitely needs a tighten as well. So let's do that. That was definitely too loose. Yep, so that's why I was pulling this up more to my chin. It's definitely pressurizing. So let's see. I think the this filter actually does fit with this mask because of the shape of it. When I get the angle right for it to start screwing on. There we go. Yeah, that will actually fit all right, that filter. So if I now try that. I mean, that kind of makes sense, height, but yeah. Oh, again, the ammonia is stinging my ear. But yeah, now it's working fully fine. So again, the weird thing with this PLA filter is it didn't make an airtight seal on the GP5, so I don't think it's GOST, but it doesn't fit this mask either, which is weird. Let me just try changing the filter again in case it was the straps causing issue. Yeah, there's more gas mask variants. Cerex in Stalker 2. Again, they look cool. There's, again, some that look quite realistic, some that look a bit more fantastical, but Stalker's got lots of, like, you know, variations on real-life stuff in it. There is a CT12 or an FM12 in it still being used by the exoskeleton. This one's an FM12, yeah, because it's got the drinking tube. Again, that probably seems to be pressurizing, but... No, yeah, it's for whatever reason, this Chinese filter isn't actually getting an airtight seal with this mask. Even though it works on some of the other masks. So yeah, that's interesting. Does this filter, when I use it on the other masks, work completely fine? Let me just see about that other Chinese DOS threaded filter. Let's see if that one, my GP5 actually works here. Again, when I get the angle right. That one seals properly, that's kind of weird. So I don't know specifically why this filter doesn't want to seal with the FM12. But for whatever reason it doesn't. You probably can see there's a line around my face now when that mask was, because it's quite tight. Anyway, let me set that up there before it gets lost. Put my glasses back on. Yeah, I don't know, because again, it was that PLA, one of the PLA filters didn't work with a GP5, but the other one did. But it also didn't work with the NATO one, but it worked perfectly fine with the FMJ09. So unless it's a slightly different thread on the FMJ09, I have no idea. Sometimes, though, it's how deep the screw thread is, because on some, they don't quite meet with the O-rings. Filter for a GP5. If you're going to be forced to use a GP5, either if you can get Polish, the ones that definitely work with the GP5 are called P5 filters, not the FP5. Because the FP5 filters are weird ones where sometimes they're GOST threaded, sometimes they're not. It seems to be one of those weird things of just how they were labeled from the factory. Polish FP211 filters are GOST threaded. The ones that, again, some Chinese filters are GOST threaded, some Russian filters are, but your best bet is the Chinese ones like we were on about earlier. So that one I was just showing, like that Chinese filter there, that's probably the best bet. Yeah, I like the Israeli M15. I've got one somewhere, but again, because I've got so many masks at the moment, I can't remember where they're all stored. How much Cerex money are you willing to spend on a mask? And then I'll try and think of what the best mask is for your money. All right, Seasummer. Oh, and just to post it again in the chat, what I'm trying to do now is every time I do a video or a stream, I post it on my Twitter. So if you follow me on Twitter, hopefully you'll get notified, even if you don't, get the notifications on YouTube. So there you go. If you follow me on Twitter, following is actually the right word, isn't it? Following, yeah, on Twitter, followers. If you follow me on Twitter, hopefully you will actually get updated whenever I'm making content, because I've started doing that on purpose now, just because I know YouTube is not reliable at all for, notifying people when I'm on and about. Yeah, cheek filter masks are not very nice on your fingers, are they? It's like giving birth in reverse. Yeah, basically. Reverse birthing. 40 to 70 euros. Are you in European Union then? Because if so, obviously you're going to have less import taxes and stuff, aren't you? If you buy from another European country. Let's see. Let's see what turns up on eBay. Oh, let me go to ebay.de, because then I'm on German eBay, which is probably better for looking around middle of Europe. I'm just going to search gas mask, even though a German person wouldn't call it a gas mask, would they? There is a Romanian M74 from Germany. Hang on, let me link you to this. Because as I've said before, Romanian M74 and Romanian M85s have NATO threads, and they're actually good masks. So there you go. That should be in your price range, and that's actually a good mask. Speaking of that, I think the satchel for my Romanian mask is down there. Or is that my Czech one? Is there a mask in here, or is that just random shit in that bag? No, I think that's a random bag with stored shit in it, rather than being an actual gas mask. No, again, I might not even have that mask in this room, or it could be buried. Oh, there's an old bout. I'm going to steal that. Oh, there it is. There goes the box. But is that the Romanian bag? That looks like the bag from the picture. Oh, it's got a filter in this bag, but nothing else. So, not sure if that looks like the Romanian bag. So I guess I've got the Romanian mask out of that bag and not put it back in. But again, here's another filter. The filter can stay. That bag was actually quite a nice quality bag as well. Check that up there. Check that up there. Oh god, everything's falling over. Because again, so much shit's had to be put in this room while other stuff goes elsewhere. Oh, I've got another mask we can test. Pull you out. If this is the one that's actually in my size, I think it is. If this is a size 5, right. Yeah, you don't want to ship them and then have people complain about the service, do you, or whatever? So, let's get on this old PMG, or is this the Hungarian version? I think this is the Hungarian version saying it. But regardless, where did I put that Chinese filter again? Or it's probably rolled under something now and I can't see it. Oh no, it's on the mask. There is it. So let's just try this one on this mask before I go off. Right, let's see if the PMG still works. Yeah, to pick up that can mask. Although I think technically, it's because the Metro Cops don't have a filter on the side of their mask. They have like the exhale valve diaphragm thing there, and it's meant to be the filter at the bottom. They kind of look more like shims, the Metro Cop masks, but they're both pretty similar looking. Anyway, I think this is on that some. That fits me. This isn't the tightly sealed because I've got the annoying thing where the two of these Hungarian masks I bought, one was too small a size, one was too big. This is a slightly too big one, but at least it fits me to go on. Alright, it's making an airtight seal, so there's that. Yep, that's working perfectly, weirdly enough. So again, perfect seal on the Hungarian version of the PMG. Reasonable price for a PMG, I don't know anymore, but I know these Hungarian versions of PMG generally are a lot cheaper than the actual Russian ones. So let me go back to regular eBay, not eBay Germany. And I think they're mainly listed as PMGs, even if they're the Romanian version. Sorry, Hungarian version. But there's a Hungarian 70M PMG for $15.99 on here. I'm just having a look at some of these to see if they're Hungarian ones. Yeah, I think all the ones on UK eBay at the moment are Hungarian, not Romanian. Yeah, this is the seller I bought from, I think. Like, because the links are so long, it says it's in my purchase history. If on UK eBay you search Russian PMG, you'll find Hungarian ones for $12.99 each, like this one is. Again, they're basically the same mask. The main difference is the XL valve looks different on the Hungarian one. It's got like more holes in the mesh, I think it is. Really bad speech figure. At least it's got a speech figure, unlike a lot of commie masks. Yeah, PMGs are very small. This is the size 5, the biggest of the Hungarian PMGs. And although it feels a little loose on my face, it makes an airtight seal. I think it was the size 3 PMG I got that was too small for my face. Yeah. PMGs, for some reason, seem to be just as smaller sizes as the other Soviet masks, even though they're sized the same. So, yeah. It's just whatever reason, even though you wouldn't think so, these, for whatever reason, seem to just have a smaller, like, face mold type than, turn the mask inside out, because these always look funny inside out, these masks. This always reminds me of that monster from Amnesia, these sort of Soviet masks from the inside like this. Again, the funny thing is the PBF is the only Soviet mask that had the oral nasal cup in it. So even though it was a cheek filter mask, it actually had an anti-fogging system in it, unlike all the other Soviet masks. What I do is I don't wear my glasses where I'm wearing my gas mask because I'm short-sighted. I can't read text at a distance with a gas mask on, but I can see all right. But you can get, obviously, optical inserts. So I've got a few masks that actually have the proper spectacle insert things that clip inside the mask. But I've never had one made up in my prescription, even though I was sort of thinking of doing it at one point. If I can get the proper spectacle mount for the C50, I'm tempted to do it just because I really like this mask. I'm just seeing if I can show you where the thing connects to in here. On these, again, ignore the dandruff and dead skin and dust and everything inside this mask. But if you look at the very top there, I don't know if you can see it, there is here a little knobble thing. There we go, there. So I think that must be where the glass is attached from in this particular mask. Because a lot of masks have them about where the nose is. They have like a little nose thing. Because this is panoramic, it doesn't have it. In a lot of the masks with 2 eyepieces, where the bridge bit is there, they have like a little clip bit there for glasses. That's a C50. So an M50 that takes 40mm cartridges, as opposed to taking the special, proprietary ones. So as you can see, this one is the 40mm version. So again, I had an M50 in the past and traded it, because the problem is the M50, you can't reliably get the filters, at least not in the UK. So as much as I like the mask, it's kind of not any use as an actual mask for a civilian, because you're just never going to get the filters for it in date or to stockpile. Oh, what call did you have, Marcus? What, like laser eye surgery or whatever? I've always wondered about getting that, but I've known people who've had it in the past and then had issues. So it's one of those things where I kind of think, do I want to risk it or not? And again, I know laser eye surgery is a hell of a lot better than it used to be years ago. It's one of those things where every year it gets safer and safer and more cost effective. But it's one of those things that I've never, had done because I'm all right with my glasses most of the time. But I know some people have had laser eye surgery and swear by it. Other people that have had, more eye issues than they had before after laser eye surgery. Where they, none of them went blind or anything like that. Where their vision still wasn't quite right, but then they had to keep putting eye drops in and stuff like that. Yeah, my dad has contact lenses. I've tried contact lenses and I absolutely hate contact lenses. I just don't like the idea of something touching my eye. So yeah, for me it would either be glasses or maybe getting laser eye surgery, but I wouldn't want to wear contact lenses. Again, I know some people that are absolutely fine with contact lenses. I just did a trial thing with them and I didn't even, last a couple of minutes of them. I just hated the feeling of them on my eyes. So yeah, I've just always gone to conventional glasses where I can just take them off, give them a clean, put them back on. Okay, I've not even heard of that. Lens inside your eye. That sounds interesting and kind of creepy, but whatever. Artificial lenses, right? Yeah, I just couldn't do it, JJ. Again, it's one of those things that, again, if I tried it for longer, but it just made me feel so uncomfortable. I was like, no, I'm going back to glasses. Yeah, I still find hype out of all the masks I've owned. I think the most comfortable mask I've still got is the Forshida, the Swedish one, the F2A4 or whatever it's called, or A2F4, whatever the number was. You can get anti-fogging stuff that's not even designed for gas mask, Monica. Like you can get stuff that's for like ski goggles and stuff like that. Just get that, put them on the inside of the lenses, and it works quite well. Again, I think it just depends on people, doesn't it? Like how good the face seals are, because like I said, there are masks where some of them, I'm very comfortable with. Other people say, "Oh, that's uncomfortable." I think it's just your face shape and everything. But again, the funny thing is that I got called racist for bringing this up, funnily enough, on YouTube before because of SJW types. Is that most countries develop gas masks to fit the generic shape that people's faces have in those countries. So yeah, masks like the S10 and that are built for evil Anglo-Saxons, so they're kind of a Celtic Anglo-Saxon face type sort of seal. Whereas obviously the Chinese masks are going to be built for more people with Asian faces, and various things like that, various countries generally build their masks to be the most comfortable and fitting for that kind of face style shape. But no, I got called racist for pointing that out because, all people have exactly the same facial features, apparently. No different at all. So, yeah. Yeah, in a lot of places, JJ, they might be able to do that under £100. Yeah, again, it can be a funny thing like that, can't it? But like I was saying, that for the most part, the masks I found the most comfortable have been the Germanic and the sort of Western European style ones, just because they, again, but now and again I find some, masks from various, like some of the Chinese masks I do find really comfortable. I think just varies a lot of the time. Again, so everybody, it's just completely random. That yeah, probably also depends on how much facial fat you have in certain places and where your cheekbones are and everything else. And again, there are masks that like some of the German masks I found, like the what was it, the M2000 is really comfortable, but the M65 I find quite uncomfortable. And I was going to make a joke there and it would get me cancelled, so I'm not going to make it. I was just going to make a point that saying maybe people from Israel would find the Finnish M61 very comfortable. But I actually have a weird feeling Israel did use an M9 copy anyway. But the M15 doesn't have a giant cartoonish nose size bit anyway. So I've made a joke now anyway. I just didn't directly say the word. I didn't say Semitic or something like that. But But in the UK now, I think you're allowed to do hate crimes against Jewish people now. I think it's just another group you cannot make nasty comments about. So even though I'm not doing them in a nasty way anyway, I'm just taking the piss out of everybody, including myself. But again, that's weird, James, because I've never had a problem with the smells of those. It's only been my OZK suit that smelled like a tramp got burned in a rubber tire. In terms of like the smell it gives off. But yeah, anyway, I'll finish in a minute because I've been on over an hour. So we found that a lot of the commie masks worked a hell of a lot better than I thought they would against ammonia, including like the cheap ass Polish MC1. So yeah, don't know what to take away from that. But they're all right masks, even if they're not very comfortable. I don't know. Weirdest gas mask I have, probably one of the head wound masks, even though they're not really weird, but they're designed for people that have had a wounded head, so somebody else has to kind of tie the mask up around their neck, so they're designed to seal around your neck, not your head. So they're like really bulky kind of loose-fitting masks, and then somebody tightens them with cushiony bits around your neck, because it's designed that, if you've got a head wound, that somebody's not putting pressure on, like, damage to your skull or whatever. But yeah, I don't really have any weird like gimpy masks or anything. And again, most military masks, even if they look a bit weird, kind of most badass. Again, I'm just gonna have to keep saying C50, aren't I? Because that's my favorite mask now. I've got this one, but again, it's just personal preference, really. The thing, Marcus, is with eye surgery though, is I've heard some people say it's better to have it done when you're older. And other people have said it's better to have it done when you're younger. So I don't really know the, what the difference is there. Because I've heard some people say, like you want your eyes to stop really adjusting in prescription before you have the eye surgery done. Other people have said the opposite, that, you want it done as young as possible. But yeah, it's... No, that was when I was allowed to borrow some, as in somebody trusted me to actually send it back to them. So they bought it, had it shipped to me, so I could do a video, and then I could post it to the person that actually had paid for it and had it sent to me. Well, at least the surgery went all right for you, Marcus. Anyway, I'm going to end the stream now, and just so everybody can see I'm not fucking about with these things when I was doing the thing, if you take a big whiff of this just before I go, don't forget to like the stream, don't forget to check out my Twitter. I need to edit the thing so my Twitter page always shows up in the descriptions so people can find it both ways, because at the moment my Twitter doesn't show up in the descriptions. Let's do this again. That wasn't too bad then. Oh. It's the eye irritation, I think, that bothers me more. But yeah, it feels like somebody's rubbed vinegar up your nose or something like that. But yeah, with this one, look, if that's where the microphone is, I assume so. Oh, it's because it's not been sealed long enough. Again, if when you've had this sealed for a while and then you open it, you actually hear it go. I think this has actually dried out a bit more than when I first had it. Yeah, it has. There's a lot less liquid at the bottom of there than there used to be. Oh. Yeah, it still works. I think you just have to more get it directly under your nose now than when I first got it. But yeah, like I said, it does make your eyes water if you can see that. It's it doesn't really have a smell, weirdly, smelling salts, because again, this is the same brand, but these are the slightly weaker ones. Again, they're still strong. Yeah, if you can see that, my eye is actually probably watering doing that. It's not me. Oh, it's me pretending. Oh, it'll make your eye water. Probably see that it's actually made my eye really damp, but because it's like a mucus reaction. It's kind of like how tear gas works. Smelling salts, they work in a very similar way. That these ones actually aren't as strong as the others. These Cerebus ones, but. Cerebus Hellfire, but I don't know if that's just simply because with these particular ones that this is the weakest one they do. Again, it still does it. It's just compared to those other ones, it's you're still like, wow, that does something. But once you go to those stronger smelling salts, it's more like, oh my god. Don't know if I give them a shake before, because these are actually a lot more salty. These ones, the others are much more like a liquid soaked in cotton wool. These are more like the type I'd actually use for clearing out a cold. Oh yeah, that does work. That's all right, Marcus. But yeah, as Hype says, because I got my dad to test the smelling salts the other day because he can't smell, and yeah, he actually physically recoiled from them. So it was quite good to test because I think he didn't think they'd do anything, and then when he took a whiff of them, you know, he was coughing into a handkerchief for about 10 seconds. So yeah, the cool thing is with smelling salts is you can use them to gas mask fit test somebody who can't actually smell, because that's the thing is if I use banana oil on my dad, it doesn't do anything because he just can't physically smell it. But as Hype was saying, because it basically hits a certain receptor or whatever, it's not so much a sense of smell, it's kind of like a pain response. I'll have a live stream probably tomorrow, Monica. I don't see why I can't. I need to go up on the roof though tomorrow at some point, because where we've had the really bad winds, apparently one of our roof tiles has slid to the point now where if we get another gust of wind and somebody's walking underneath it, it could fall off and kill them. So I'm going to need to be the person that when we get a bit of a break from the bad weather tomorrow, goes up on the roof with a ladder and has to either take the tile down or try and reseat it, because it can't be left, you know, like teetering off the edge of the roof. Yeah, we'll do. I'm only in a bungalow, so I'm only up probably 16 feet or whatever once you get to the attic height. I'm not up, you know, the roofs in this room are probably like 7 and a bit foot, that sort of height roof, because one of my mates who's 6 foot something, you know, can touch the roof easily with his hand, but he's not going to bump his head on it. Yeah, but so it's going to be like twice the height of this room, but yeah, it's just like I said, you're gonna have to do it when it's not raining and the roof's slippery and when it's not windy, because where we had the 90-mile-per-hour winds the other day, there was literally stuff I saw blowing around that was like quite heavily weighted down stuff that, you know, it's just the wind got strong enough that it would hit the side of it and start pushing it. So yeah, I need to clear up all these gas masks now that are now everywhere around me. But yes, we have at least learnt from today's stream that gas masks, even older ones, do something against ammonia. And to link my Twitter one more time just before I go off, don't forget to follow me on here, because like I said, I'm going to try and be a lot more active on Twitter now. Every time I do a video, like a live stream or I post a regular video, putting it on the Twitter. So if you follow me on Twitter, even if you don't get a YouTube notification, you'll know I've posted stuff, because the problem is a lot of people say, you know, that YouTube doesn't notify them when I've been on. So at least that way, you know, you can try and track me through another platform. Going back a few years ago, you could automatically share your stuff to Twitter without even manually adding a link on YouTube. But because Twitter, Google, and all the other big tech firms have fallen out with each other, you know, they don't let you auto share stuff anymore. No, I don't have a TikTok. I'm only really using Twitter because it's you know, like I said, it's the thing that lots of people use. And since Elon Musk has taken it over, there's not like the shadow banning of certain content on there either. So it's a much better platform now for you know, if you post something, you know, people are going to see it, good or bad. You know, it's not a case of you could post something and then it might not show up because it had anti-gun policies and whatever else. Anyway, I'm going to go off. I'm going to play some Stalker 2. I ate a load of Polish sausage earlier, whatever that's called. It's almost like the same word as the Ukrainian sausage, but it's a couple of letters different. Kolbasa or whatever it's called. That was quite good, garlicky sort of sausage. But anyway, yeah, I'm off now. Have a good day, everybody, and I'll do some videos as well as streams during the week. So see you all when I'm about. And again, when I post stuff, I will post it on the Twitter. So if you're following me on Twitter, you'll at least know I've posted it if you don't see anything through YouTube's end. Have a good day.